back, everybody, to Tech Sheck. Never ceases to amaze me what kind of interesting and amazing talent we have in Pakistan. And today I have with us people who are taking a little different twist on how to bring STEM education to young people in the country. I'd like to introduce Zartaj Ahmed and Nahyan Farooq from QriosityNet. And with that, welcome to both of you.
Thank you very much.
So, Zartaj, let's dive right in. Tell us a little more. What is QriosityNet all about?
Okay, thank you. So QriosityNet is basically a professional network for students. And in order for people to understand it really quickly, we like to call it LinkedIn for students. The gap that we had identified in the market was that parents and students struggle with determining a career. There is no career counseling. I mean, a very formal one that's available. They have to look at a lot of information throughout the internet to be able to decide on a career. Also, parents try to guide their children to the best of their knowledge, but they don't know about emerging careers and trending careers. So that is where their knowledge is limited. So this was the pain point, and I'm a parent myself, so I could feel it very closely. And that is where QriosityNet was born. So we have created a network, which is a safe space for students to network with other students, millions of students around the world, and be able to find that help. Since it's a professional network, everything gets delivered to their feeds, just like LinkedIn.
Very cool. That's interesting. That's a great way to help our younger folks continue propagating their knowledge. Although, again, it never ceases to amaze me the strokes of brilliance that come out of Pakistan. So I'm glad you're helping facilitate that. And so with that, so in terms of the modus and how it works, Nahyan, I know you're doing a lot of developmental work around the curriculum and how to do that. So give us a little light on that. How does that all work?
Sure. So something that we looked at when we were just checking out basically how to bring QriosityNet.com into the fray, how we can bring it. And that's basically something that we thought was it's important because somewhere you saw some students doing matric, some students are doing O levels and A levels. Some are from the Akhan curriculum, and that's just from Pakistan. And there was no uniting factor for any of them. So if I'm looking for an internship or a scholarship or anything of that sort, that just was a little bit of an issue for me. And I'm sure for the students as well. So what we did was then we basically took all of those things for all of those students and just brought them on one platform where they could basically make their own profiles and go about from there. And that basically reflects on STEM education as well. All the curriculum and the content that we're developing for STEM education is again for all of the different curricula which are in Pakistan, of course, and abroad as well. So that's basically how we're operating in that regard.
Interesting. And we had talked a little bit about some of the programs you ran. Can you give me some insight on, I was very intrigued by the space programs that you shared. Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So PSEC, which is Pi Space Science Education Center, that was another initiative of ours where we are teaching STEM education, but we're using this vector of space science in order to impart education, impart STEM education, and in Pakistan and beyond. And the idea generally, well, rather actually came to us from the Victorian Space Science Education Center in Melbourne, where I have been an educator for almost 4, 5, 6 years now, I guess. And that's where we originally got the idea from. Something we saw in Pakistan that STEM education was only dominated by robotics. And we thought it was a good idea to bring space science into the mix because space science, if you actually look at it, it envelops each and every different district of STEM in of itself, basically, be it aeronautical engineering, robotics, mechanical engineering, mechatronics, whatever it is. It just basically engulfs it very easily. And that's why we thought space science was the way to go. And yeah, just a quick thing to add over here. We do wear space suits and flight suits wherever we go while conducting our classes.
That's fantastic. No, I love this quantum of using, something of great interest, obviously here in the US, the space is the rage now, and what's going to be happening in terms of colonization and envisioning where human beings are going. So it's great that if we can spark that kind of curiosity amongst young people in Pakistan, probably drives a lot of interest. So I love it. I love it. So with that, I know I've recently discovered you guys, and one thing that Tech Check's all about is obviously engaging folks like yourself who are doing really interesting and great work in Pakistan with people here. So is there an ask or a want from people in North America or Europe?
Zartaj, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So we, ever since, everybody was faced by the challenges posed by COVID, we have started conducting our sessions online. And that is where we got a very good response, not only from the United States, but from Australia, from Saudi Arabia, different countries, from Europe as well.
Great.
So people would sign up. Time zone was a challenge, however, we managed. But our online sessions have been going really great with audiences coming from around the world and taking our courses. I'll just tell you, I was just talking to you about my robotics class. So we are participating in an international virtual robotics competition. And this is the first time that there are two Pakistani teams who are participating at the global level. And yeah, so I mean, these are the opportunities that come with such education and such opportunities ever since we've gone online.
Awesome. And is there anything, so aside from participation, anything else that you guys are looking for from a support perspective? Do you need teachers, mentors, funding, anything like that?
Yeah, so being a startup and obviously, bootstrapping at this stage, we're definitely looking to raise funding because QriosityNet is going to be a big thing. And currently we are onboarding students to make sure that we have a critical mass of students. And then we reach out to investors. And so we're, actively networking, reaching out to universities globally. So two major things. One is funding, definitely. The other is networking. We do have opportunities of mentoring, which has been great. And I would say that, without mentoring and coaching that we've received, we wouldn't have come this far. So two things, again, needed, helping us market and, networking, I think, is a major thing apart from funding.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, again, I love these stories. I keep running into so many interesting and unique people like yourself. So first of all, Zartaj, Nahyan, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really enjoyed having you on with us today.
Thank you so much
for having us. Thank you.
And to our audience out there. So as you can see, the content keeps coming. It seems there is no shortage of interesting people doing interesting things in Pakistan. As you know, at Tech Sheck, we're trying to always emphasize the positive, what's happening in the country. And with that, I'd like to say, please continue to like, share, and follow us. We've now crossed 60 episodes, and there's no shortage of unique and interesting people out there. We need your support to keep accessing those people and bringing them on the show. So with that, I bid all of you Allah Hafiz, and we'll see you next time.